Hey everyone, I'm here with the ARCCAPTAIN MIG200 today, doing a quick review of this multi-process welder. It is a 110 or 220 volt unit and can do MIG welding, stick welding, and lift TIG functionality. It comes with a roughly 10-foot MIG lead. It appears to be a clone of a Benzel AK-15 gun. Uses same nozzle style and Tweco tips of the Harbor Freight guns, so consumables should be readily available. And it's got the full Euro connection, so if you ever do want to change it out to a different gun, it'll be very easy to find a compatible one from your local weld shop or online. The working clamp provided is also about 10 feet in length, decent quality, good copper tip contacts on the tip. It does appear to be copper clad wiring instead of pure copper, so that's a bit of a negative on it, but overall should work just fine. For connecting to power, it's wired for standard US 110 input, and it comes with a 110 to 220 adapter plug. This is a bit of a negative from my perspective because you're passing 220 voltage and high current through a normal 110 outlet that's only rated for 120 volts and 15 amps maximum. I'm not actually sure if this is even per US legal electrical code or not, but I doubt it'll actually cause a fire or anything in your house, so take that for what it is, I guess. The stick welding stinger it comes with is very nice, heavy duty, appears to be all cast. One of the nicest stingers I've seen on one of these multi-process units. It also comes with a whole slew of accessories, a few extra contact tips, a nozzle, and a ton of drive rolls. They provide you 3 different V-groove ones for solid wire, 2 different U-grooves for aluminum wire, and 2 different knurled grooves for running flux core wire through the unit. The one oddity is that there are none of these rolls are sized for 0.035 wire or 0.9 millimeters. ARCCAPTAIN, I did reach out to them about this, and they said that's a packaging error on these early production units, and they plan to remedy that in the future. The other oddity of the build quality is that inside our panel here, there's no MIG setup chart like you'll find on basically every other MIG welder on the market. They have posted this chart on their website in a blog post recently, and I emailed them, and they sent me a high resolution copy that I was able to print out. And I plan just to tape this in here once I'm done to have quick reference for it. And it is all in metric units for wire feed speeds and things like that, and wire sizes. So I've added some conversion tables up here and a quick reference for myself for thicknesses of different materials. So when we get this thing turned on, one really nice feature that you'll notice is that the fan will initially kick on. And it'll shut off here in just a second. So it is a on-demand fan, which is quite nice, so you don't have to listen to it churning away endlessly when you're not in the middle of welding. On the front of the unit here, we also have a input port for a spool gun attachment for running aluminum wire. I don't have a spool gun, but they've got ones available if you want to do that. So going through our control panel here, the middle button here is our mode selection. So we have regular MIG, MMA for stick welding, lift TIG, and they don't include a TIG torch for that, so you'd have to buy one that has the manual gas control valve, MIG spool mode, and then back to MIG. When you're in MIG mode, which is what we'll be testing with today. You can have it in full manual mode where you can control your voltage and speed, wire feed speeds manually. Wire feed speed is meters per minute, sorry about that. Or hitting the SYN button will put it into synergistic mode where you can select your wire diameter, and once again this is in millimeters, so 0.6 for 0.023, 0.8 for 0.03, 0.9 for 0.035, or 1 millimeter for 0.04 inch wire. So you'd select your wire size and your gas type, and it will figure out the rest of the parameters for you. And then lastly, we have our trigger method on your MIG gun. It has 2T, 4T, and a spot weld function, which is really nice for if you're doing stitch welding on a auto body sheet metal work for consistent, repeatable welds. It'll just keep that arc going for a preset amount of time. Alright, so I'm going to move this over to get it plugged into 220, and we'll do some test beats with it. So overall, I'm pretty impressed with how well this MIG200 unit from ARCCAPTAIN welds. Does nice clean beads, definitely, limited by my abilities, not the machine's. And this was on 1/8 inch 836 coupons that I had laying around. The synergistic mode seems to be pretty close. You can fine tune it on the voltage knob, plus or minus 3 volts once it's set to the proper metal thickness for you. And varying it to the extremes there, you can definitely see too hot versus too cold. So they're pretty close. A little bit of tweaking was needed, but overall it welded really well, and I'm very pleased with the performance. I think at this price point of sub $500 for a multi-process welder, this is right up there with the lines of the Titanium 200 from Harbor Freight and other similar offerings. Definitely worth checking out for anyone who's looking to pick up a welder.